Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Jesse here with us all the way from Canada. He's an interesting entrepreneur and on top of that, coach as well for other entrepreneurs who are 6 to 8 figures. He will actually introduce himself in a moment as well. And today's episode will be very interesting because we're going to cover some of the amazing things that you can actually do as an entrepreneur. We'll also talk about some of the challenges that you may face as well and that we're all facing. So, Jesse, welcome to the podcast. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Tony, for having me. I really, really appreciate it. My name is Jesse Holmes. I'm from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I help 6 to 8 figure entrepreneurs beat procrastination and double their output.
Great stuff. Yeah. And so when we were in the green room, we actually talked a little bit about your business and stuff. And you mentioned that you had a business before, which actually grew to 8 figures. And that's now why you're coaching others in a similar sort of environment. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? How did you get inspired to go into coaching after building such a successful business?
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was 16 years old. I've started in and built a number of businesses. My last successful business was my own line of health supplements that I sold in newspapers, direct mail, and magazines for the last 9 years. Grew that business up to 8 figures. And now I have a real passion and I managed that business in the entirety in less than 30 minutes a day. So I built the teams and the systems and everything like that so I could have a completely streamlined lifestyle business. And so now I want to help other entrepreneurs do the same thing with helping them overcome their procrastination, double their output, meaning working on their highest level leverage activities to make sure they're getting the most impact out of their day.
Great stuff. Yeah. So you've been entrepreneur for some time, and so is there any specific like techniques that you're using to help them overcome procrastination, or is just like you do it as you go, or what's the system?
I have a personal framework that I swear by. I say I make it easy, make it enjoyable, and do it every day. So this can apply for building a business, in your personal life, if you want to get better at an interest or a hobby, or maybe you want to get in better health or shape. My personal mantra is take whatever task that it is that I'm either stuck on or procrastinating on or know that I should be doing, and how can I break it down to the least amount of time or energy that I can spend on a consistent basis enjoyably every single day without burning out. And by giving myself a real easy way to start, that helps me build momentum, get onto my projects quicker, and not waste my whole day being distracted or procrastinating.
Very good. Yeah, totally. So since you already have this experience of building a really successful business, 8 figure business, can you tell us like what was one of the major things or major moment that helped you explode that business?
The absolute best thing I ever did for that business, and I had to spend a lot of money to do it, but I found a very expensive mentor who could help me through the process. I ended up spending over $100,000 on this person to help me, but I would not have been able to build a business without him. Just having someone else with the experience that can lead and guide me through that process, helping me know where to go, pitfalls to avoid, and just help me, stay on track. The biggest thing he ever taught me, I'll never forget this. He says the 4 secrets to success is focus, commit, take action, and never give up. And that's something that's always stuck with me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Thanks a lot for sharing that secret. And yeah, I mean, this really reminded me of the CEO of Google who was, probably like I was watching this video about 15, 20 years ago, and he was talking that, every successful person in the world, every successful athlete, everyone pretty much who is successful in anything either has a coach or a mentor behind them, so and that's really crucial. That really stuck with me. And as I mentioned, I've been working with professional tennis players and entrepreneurs and stuff as coaching them, and I see in this environment where you have a number of different coaches helping one individual or a team build up and grow from there. So, can you tell us now how do you actually transfer your knowledge from what you went through and from what you learned from your mentor into your clients?
The best way I do that is every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live question and answer period. So day in and day out, every single day, I help uh, my audience with their burning questions when it comes to productivity.
Productivity. Okay. Wonderful. And where do you do that?
I do that on my own. I have a private Facebook group that I do the Facebook Lives in.
Okay, okay, excellent. I mean, if you want as well, we can share this with the audience in the description, the link, and then they can probably join there if they're interested in that. And then on top of that, like, what's one of the main sort of tips you would give to our audience if they want to avoid burnout?
They want to avoid burnout.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic question. I struggled. I went through a period of my time, especially when I was first building that last business, with extreme stress, anxiety, and burnout. And it almost cost me my relationships and everything like that. It was a very, very difficult time. I had to learn, the biggest thing I had to learn is when we go through a stressful time or we feel like things are getting very hectic and crazy, I used to interpret that as a signal from my brain to keep going, 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 going. I thought all the noise in my head was a green light to keep pushing forward. What I had to learn a little bit the hard way is when I'm getting into that state, and if I recognize that there's these symptoms, these feelings, these uh, busyness and this noise in my thoughts, it's a signal from my brain not to go faster. It's a signal from my brain to, it's a yellow light or a red light, meaning I need to start pumping the brakes a little bit, taking a pause and start taking care of myself before I'm forced to have to take care of myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And thanks for sharing that. And then on top of that, because you mentioned that in the previous business as well, you actually had a mentor who massively helped you achieve success, and you obviously invested a lot of money in that relationship. So, can you tell us when it comes to mentors and coaches that you worked with? Was it the strategy or the emotional intelligence or the mindset work, or what was the main thing that actually helped you break through with your business?
I think the strategy was excellent, but it was only really 10% of it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's an infinite amount of ways to make money online or offline. But really what he hammered home for me was the mindset part of it. He said mindset was probably 90% of the part of success and the reason why he was successful. And having him be there for me as my mindset coach to stay on top of things on a regular basis really is what changed the trajectory for my business. He would do weekly calls with me, but what I would do is I recorded every single one of them, and even after I had done his mentorship program, every single day, even if it's just a few minutes a day, I would listen to the recordings of those calls each and every single day to make sure that I was staying on track, keeping my mindset right, because it's so easy. I think our mindsets default to the negative and we need to retrain into the positive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right. Something I was listening to. I mean, I knew it for a while, but I just got reminded that we have about 48,000 thoughts every single day, and about 80 or 90% of those thoughts are negative.
Mm,
And most of the thoughts are really like we're just thinking them by habit. Yeah.
mm. That's right.
So yeah, it's really important to, I think, from my work with my clients as well and working on myself, I realize that it's really important to first be aware of the thoughts, either if they're negative or positive, and
Hmm.
then sort of recognize them and then deal with them in such a way that we can actually go a little bit into unknown as well,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
yeah, expand from that. So you were working mindset, and that helped you get sort of success in your
Hmm.
business. But how that relates? Can you explain us that, please?
How does mindset relate to success in business?
Yes.
Oh man, because with business, there's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be an obstacle. And it's always going to be an obstacle that you never prepared for, or each time you grow to another level of success, there's a new obstacle. And so knowing how to have the proper mindset in the face of obstacles is going to be the best way to be able to overcome that obstacle and keep pushing forward, even when things feel absolutely hopeless.
Wow, that was so good. I think we can make a short out of this because it was great statement. Well done on that. So, if someone wants to actually get in touch with you or learn more about you or connect to you or learn more about your business, how they can do that, Jesse?
The best way would be to join my notification list to make sure you never miss a daily question and answer live that I do on my Facebook. You can do that by going to effortlessgrowth.co, EFFORTLESSGROWTH.co. Once you join that, you'll get instant access to my Facebook group, recordings of the past lives, and exclusive content.
Wonderful. So, we can share that in the description of this episode as well, that link. And yeah, I mean, if there is any question maybe that I didn't ask you, anything you would like to share with our audience, anything else, yeah, let us know now before we close this episode.
Absolutely. I don't know if I properly warned you or not, but I'm going to ask you, what is something you've been procrastinating on in your business lately?
Well, that's a great question, and yeah, I sort of been working on myself, for a number of years, and I'm really sort of investing a lot of time and effort into myself and my business
Mhm.
to actually grow and stuff. But probably when it comes to procrastination, maybe one of the things that I could be better in is hiring more people,
Okay.
to help me out in certain parts of the business where I didn't hire enough people yet, So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's really one of the big things, one of the big challenges. Thanks for asking me this question because, usually people just like I usually ask the questions, and this is great.
Okay, well, if
Jesse.
you mind me working a little bit of my magic for about 2 seconds here on you,
Yeah, sure.
what is the least amount of time you could spend enjoyably on a consistent everyday basis when it comes to hiring new people for your business?
Well, probably like it was free up about a couple of hours. Yeah.
So how much time could you spend every single day to think to even to start the process or think about hiring somebody for your business? Is that you need an hour a day, 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day? What would you say?
Well, depends. I like to sort of do these sprints. Yeah. So when I,
Mhm.
when I do something, I just do it in a sprint. I sort of complete everything and then move on to the next task. So usually, obviously, I'm doing the podcast. I'm dealing with the client calls. I'm dealing with a number of other things in my business and stuff. But in general, I sort of block times.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we're talking about probably 4 or 5 hours, maybe a couple of times for 5 hours. Yeah.
Okay. And so if you did, so this is how I break this down for at least for myself. This makes it easier. Let's say I said instead of, okay, let me take that 4 or 5 hours of block time that I would need to spend hiring. And instead of thinking about that in a day, let me think that over a longer period of time. Let's say a month or a couple of months. So let's say it's 4 hours over the next month. How many minutes a day would I have to do that to equal that 4 hours in a month? Instead of trying to find that time in the day to get 4 hours, let's say I spend 5 minutes a day early on in my day, every single day for that entire month, and make that a building and consistent habit. Because when it comes to business and business growth, hiring the right talent isn't a one-time task.
No.
It's something that we're always going to have to get better at and better at and better at as our business grows. So what's something easy and enjoyable I could do each and every single day that will help me get one step closer to hiring the better or best person for my business?
Yeah. Great. Well done. Yeah, that's a great system. I really like, sort of splitting the time like that. And that's something I'm working on with my clients as well in terms of sort of I have this 30-minute rule, which I call
Yep.
30-minute change your life in 30 minutes. Yeah. So instead of like changing your life 1 month or 1 year at a time or something like that, you can just spend 30 minutes on certain thing, on certain task, and just really make a
Mhm.
success out of it. So 5 minutes is even better. Yeah, definitely. I always like to hear new ideas and new systems. Jesse, thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you're into procrastination, if you struggle with procrastination or anything when it comes to business, for anyone watching us, just comment below and Jesse and I will sort of answer your comments, and let's go from there. Thank you all for watching. See you all in the next episode. All the best and bye-bye.